Today I'm with Michael and we are actually doing a training day. I'm going to be showing Michael how to do a couple things, how to do a house wash, how to do concrete cleaning, and how to wash a roof. So it's going to be very full, very packed full of information, good information, and so it should be a good video for you guys. Michael, do you want to just share a little bit about who you are and why you're here?
Absolutely. My name is Michael. I'm from the Birmingham location actually, and sent me up here to work under this great instructor here, and I'm ready to learn anything I can, as much as I can.
Yeah, so he's with actually Wesley. He's a pressure washing pastor down in Birmingham. They're rolling into the new season, and so he'll be doing a lot of the operations side for Wesley in the beginning. But for today, let's go ahead and just walk through kind of what we're doing, Michael, and I'll show you how to wash this home, how to clean the concrete, and later on our next job we'll be washing the roof. So let's go ahead and take a look around. All right, so this is a pretty tall building. It's 3 stories, and it looks like it's probably even 4 at the highest peak, and so this will be a little challenging with the height. But basically when we go to wash something like this, we're going to be soaping really anything that's painted. We're not really concerned with the brick unless there's green visibly on the brick. So we're going to wash the gutters, the soffits, the downspouts, the windows, you know, the door. I mean, everything's getting washed, the garage door as well. And we'll soap from the bottom going to the top, and then let that sit for 10 minutes or so, and then just rinse from the top down. We're gonna be cleaning the concrete. So pressure washing all the concrete. This won't be a soft wash. We'll be using our pressure wands and our surface cleaners and getting all that cleaned up. And we can walk around the back here. Washing all this, soaping from the bottom to the top, like what I said. We were actually going to do the deck, but the homeowner pulled the deck off. What's actually kind of unique about this concrete is you can kind of see these weird lines. Do you know what that is by chance?
I do not.
Okay, so these weird lines are actually when they poured the concrete, they most likely poured it while it was wet or it had the chance of raining, and so they put tarps over the concrete. It rains, and then the tarp touches the concrete, and when they pull the tarp off of it, it leaves these weird lines. And so when you see that in the future, you can kind of identify, oh, that's because you know, as they're pouring it and stuff like that. So you know, a lot of guys will wonder, you know, why isn't this coming off? Or, you know, oftentimes it's the homeowner that has no idea, so they come out and they think that this was because of you and your pressure washer kind of all over the place. Also, just from looking at it, you can see these dark lines going horizontally.
Right.
You see that?
Yeah.
That is most likely a result of the stain falling onto the concrete when it was stained. So with time, you'll be able to recognize these things, pick it up, and address it with the customer before, you know, before you clean it, and then they're like wondering why there's stuff all over their driveway. And so hopefully we can try to get this up as much as possible. So let's go ahead and we'll pull out the hoses, and then we'll get started.
Let's do it.
All right, so one of the first things that we're going to want to do is to hook up water to a spigot. I didn't look for one while we were walking around, but I think it's on the back side of the building. And so with these reels, there's actually locks on the side. So you pull out the lock, set it on this little notch right here, and then you can go ahead and pull that garden hose out, and let's hook it up to that spigot. And then I know we're about to clean the sidewalk, so I'm going to try to lay this hose in a way to where it's not on our cleaning area. So just kind of in the grass here.
We got water.
Got that on?
Yep.
Sweet. All right, and one more thing with this garden hose is, as you can see at the bottom here, it is a little bit kinked on the reel.
Yeah.
And so we're going to want to pull this hose all the way out just to encourage maximum water flow.
Sure.
So it's not restricted in any way.
Makes sense.
That's great. Yep. And we'll pull that in a little bit more. Just keep it out of the road. Awesome. All right, and same thing with the pressure hoses. Let's go ahead and we'll start in the back where the deck is. And same thing with this reel. There's a lock on this left side. There's a lock on this left side, just like the reel. Pull it out and set it on the notch there, and you can pull it out around the back. Yeah, so basically you got your ball valve here, and when you bring your hose around the back side of the home or wherever you're about to start, just go ahead and close it. That way you can start the machine when it's convenient for you, and it's not gonna be, spraying around when it's around the back side of the building. So close it, that way you can just got some peace of mind. Sweet. And we'll go get our wand, get it set up, and I'll show you how to switch to soap. All right, this is the wand that we're gonna be using. It's shorter than our other ones, and it looks a lot different, but this is a good wand to use when you're doing a lot of house washing. It's a lot lighter, it's a lot easier to manage. You've got your nozzles on the front here. This is your jet nozzle or your house wash nozzle. This is what you'll mostly be using to wash a home, especially one this high. This is your fan spray nozzle. This is what you use to wash a door or windows. If you're going to rinse plants, you can use that. And then these two on the bottom are your pressure nozzles. You probably really won't be using these very often with this wand. But yeah, so those are your main nozzles that you'll have pretty much on any setup. Sure. So go ahead and take that. We'll connect it to our hose at the back. Before we get the wand set up, I want to show you, Michael, real quick, just the basics of this machine. Now, I'm sure that you've got a lot of experience already in construction, so you're familiar already with small engines and how they work, but I'll show you just kind of a basic overview of how to start it and what each thing does. This gray handle here, this is your throttle. It always stays up. You never have to touch it with these machines. This is your choke, and this is your key. Every time you start it, you want to pull the choke out, turn the key. Once it starts, you're going to slowly push the choke in, and then you're ready to rock and roll. I keep forgetting steps, so forgive me. Sure. But now that we know how to start the machine, I actually want to show you how to switch to soap. Now, a lot of our trucks they're gonna vary a little bit. Some trucks may just have one option of shutting off the soap, which would allow you to pull water, or turning on, which will allow you to pull soap. But this has a soap and water option. Right now it's on water, and most of the time they're indicated with a piece of blue tape or yellow tape. So right now we're on water. Just switch this gray switch to the other direction, and this is going to allow you to pull soap through your machine to apply it onto the side of the house, or the concrete, or whatever you're applying soap on. So right now we're on soap. Let's go ahead and we'll soap down the back of the home, and then we'll come back and switch this to water to rinse it off.
To rinse it off?
Yep. So we'll switch it to soap, go ahead and start it, and then we'll meet you back there. Everything we have is set up on a quick connect system. And so you'll see this is called a coupler, and this is called a plug. All you have to do is pull down the coupler, insert the plug, and it should clip in. You really want to make sure that this is all the way forward. Yeah. If not, when you turn this, it'll pop off. And the same for the nozzles as well. Same quick connect coupler system. If you don't have these sitting in the wand all the way, you can actually shoot them into the street or shoot them over the house.
Yeah, we don't want that.
So when you clip it in, just do a nice little pull test to make sure. A lot of times if it's just sitting like that, it looks like it's clipped, but it's not all the way in. So turn this on. And all we're basically gonna do is soap as much as we can from here. The soap is really good at getting everywhere. And so I'm not really concerned with being very detailed towards the bottom of the deck here, because I know by the time we get soaping everything, all that soap has already ran down and covered this whole side.
Sure.
So I'm gonna spray this on the brick, and the brick's gonna really allow me to see when it switches from water to soap.
Okay.
There's gonna be about 15 to 20 seconds of water in this line. So as soon as we start spraying, it'll take a couple seconds before you start seeing those suds.
All right.
There we go. Water. And hopefully it'll switch to soap here in a second. Looked like there was already a little bit of soap in the line. Any second now. Do you want to run back over there and switch it while we're still waiting for that to switch over? And I've got water inside of my line. I'm actually gonna just do a light rinse over this wood, because I'm not gonna try to, we don't want to remove any of the stain off the wood. So we're just gonna do a light water rinse on this while we've got water in our line. Just a quick hit. And then we're gonna see, hopefully we start pulling soap here. If not, we might need to go check our soap line and make sure it's all the way in the tank. And this is when you cut to the soap coming out of the wand. All right, let me go do some investigation. Make sure these hoses are all the way in here. What was happening was there was plenty of hose inside the tank, but it had curled up and the end of the hose was sticking outside of the soap level. There's little attachments that you can put on there that's basically a filter and a weight. And you put it on the end of your downstreamer hose and it sits perfectly in the tank. Something that we'll need to install on there. It looked like it had broken off, and so let's see, we should be pulling now. Come on, old Betsy. You know what? Forged by adversity, right? Okay, so this is your downstream chemical injector. All this does is when water's running through this line, it will pull whatever this hose is in. And so with our switch here, we've basically got a soap and water indicator. When we switch it this way, it's going to be pulling soap through this line into the chemical injector, injecting it into the water line. Okay. There's a little spring in here with a ball, and as you can see, this one's kind of getting a little old. It's aging, and so that spring can get stuck, and it won't allow you to pull any chemical through that downstream injector. So we're gonna release the pressure, take this hose off, and stick a pick inside of the hole to just dislodge the spring that's stuck in there. Just wiggle off this hose here. All right, now you can see that opening. We're just gonna stick this pick or anything small down into it and to just lightly press on it. You see how it stopped and then it went forward. So I'll let you feel in there, but you'll be able to feel a little bit of a spring. Just go ahead and try to push that in there and you can feel it.
I feel it, yep.
You can feel it in there. So that, with just time, that will get old. You can rebuild these. In fact, we've got a video that we created about these downstream injectors, and it's got all the information on it if you guys want to go and find it on our YouTube channel. But we'll put this back on, fire this up, and see if you know, dislodging that spring, if that will help us pull soap.
All right.
Run this onto the concrete just to see if we can start pulling soap. So this is your chemical downstream injector. It's got some information on the front here, 5 to 8 GPM, that's gallons per minute. That's what we got. And it's got indicator arrows pointing the flow. So the pressure's going that way, so we'll want it facing with the stream.
Right.
And so we're gonna wanna put plumber's tape on the threads and then tighten these down. The coupler goes on this end, the plug goes on the longer end, and that's how it will be plumbed right there. So let's go ahead and wrap this on. Have you done, you've done some plumbing before, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure you're familiar with the correct way to add the tape so it doesn't come off of the threads. I always hold the threads in my left hand and wrap away from me. If you did it the other way, when you tighten this into the downstreamer, it would all come off. And so flip it, take your tape again, wrap it. Three or four is good. And then we'll just tighten these on. Okay. Quick connect system on everything. Makes it very quick to change things out. Take the hose off. There we go. Slide it on there. Make sure we're on soap. Let's see if this does it, man. You want to hold it and spray it? All right, let's go around back. Now that we've switched our water to soap, we'll just spray it on here until we see the soap come out, and then we can go ahead and clean the side of the home. Right. Soap is coming out. Almost like we knew that was gonna happen. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the jet nozzle.
Yep.
Because most of what we're cleaning is pretty high. I'm gonna start as low as I can, go all the way up, and then hopefully all that soap will run down to the bottom sections that we're not able to hit because of the deck.
So are you going one by one?
Yeah, so on siding like this, so this is a hardy board, also known as hardy plank siding. This stuff is pretty durable, and it doesn't get dirty too, it's not like vinyl. It's not gonna get dirty too quickly. And so in this situation, you can kind of go every other board because it's really not too dirty. If this was like really green, you might want to go board by board. But just want to get a nice even coat. This, the house wash solution that we're spraying on here is called sodium hypochlorite. It's actually activated by oxygen, and so you don't want to drown the siding in soap. You just want to kind of get it covered. If you put too much on it, it actually won't clean as well as just a nice light coating. Hitting that gutter really good. I think that gutter's probably the worst part. Okay, do a light quick over the windows, get them coated. And that looks pretty good. I feel like that's a nice coating. I'm gonna switch from my jet nozzle to my fan spray. And we're gonna do a light coat over the garage door. And then I'm gonna pre-treat the concrete. It's already actually got a lot of soap on it already.
Yeah.
But if it didn't, I'm just gonna show you what that would look like here. I like to go around the edge of the garage door like this first, and then panel by panel. So across the bottom one, like this. Nice even coat, and then treat the concrete. Sweet. That's pretty much it. We'll let this sit. We'll move on to this left side and I'll let you apply the soap from bottom to top.
Sure.
And then we'll come back, check on this gutter because it might need a second application. But let's move on to this left side. You can split this house in half, yeah. Kind of clean half of it, this right half, or apply it on there. Move to this section, apply half of it. Yep, nice and quick over the windows.
We got the gutter. Right?
Yep, the downspout there. Nice. I can tell it's cleaning up already.
So why do we soap from the bottom up?
So the reason why we soap from the bottom up is this helps reduce like streaking, especially with roofs. It's something that you'll want to do. On houses, it's not as important to soap from the bottom up. It's just a good principle to have in most cleaning situations.
Okay.
And so if you were doing a roof or a driveway, soaping from the bottom up is the best principle to have. And then you could re-hit the top of that one right there while we're here. Yep, nice. And then maybe we can hit the left side of this downspout going up. Nice, that's perfect. All right, let's hit that back gutter one more time, and then we'll rinse everything off. We'll end up calling the homeowner and just letting them know, hey, your gutters are clean. We did notice that there was some oxidation on the gutter that we weren't able to remove just because it's adhered to the paint. And most of the time they're cool with it and they understand. They probably already know about it as well. So we'll do maybe 2 more applications on this gutter, but I can tell it's already cleaning up a little bit.
Yeah,
so
looks better.
So if you are training someone like Michael, we go by a cool little system. There's 4 or 5 steps to it. The first one is I do while you watch, and I explain it, and we talk at the end. Then it's I do, you help, and then we talk. And then it's you do, I help, we talk. And then it's you do, I watch, we talk, and then they do it with someone else. That's the model that I'm doing with Michael today. I'm allowing him to watch me clean the home, and then I'm allowing him to help, and then I help him clean it, and then I watch him do it. And so with easy, simple things, you can speed up that process or make it longer if it's more difficult.